Good morning and happy Monday to you. My name is LaShonda Brown and welcome to Bootstrap Biz Advice Live, where each Monday at 10 a.m. I go live on YouTube to share practical biz advice to help you to work less and live more. When you know how to do less manually, you can live a more fulfilling life, and this channel will help you do exactly that. To get more mindful marketing and tech tips delivered straight to your inbox, visit LaShondaBrown.com/join the club. And the email coming out on Thursday will be our August coupon code roundup. So let me go ahead and adjust myself a little bit. There we go. I've been playing around with a few things, so hopefully it sounds good, it looks good, and this provides you with a better experience live on the channel. I have so much to share with you. Today, we're going to be talking about what people don't share about building a personal brand. And I think it's going to be a really helpful conversation because a lot of people aren't addressing this topic. And I think it's going to take a lot of pressure off of your plate. So first and foremost, if you like this video, I want you to go ahead and like it because it does help more people to see it. I have looked at the numbers, and when I push this at the beginning of the live streams, it does impact my replays and the engagement on my channel. So thank you so much for giving it a thumbs up if you like this topic. I am using StreamYard, so you are welcome to try out this software. I actually use this for both live streaming and my webinars. So you can get a free 14-day trial by going to LaShondaBrown.com/StreamYard. So super quick, I'm going to do a little housekeeping for our members. I want you guys to know what I posted. What is one thing you could do this week to move your business forward? Usually I ask you two things. It's the end of the month. We are trying to ease into the week. Labor Day is coming, so I wanted to keep things simple. So within the community tab, which I will share with you all really quick, just to remind you what that looks like. If you log into your account, you will see that there is a new post at the top of the weekly goals thread where I dropped in my weekly goal. Feel free to drop in yours. I will be checking in on those of you who posted your goal for last week. So that is the graphic for this week. So I would encourage you to hop in. We're not trying to do a lot right now. We're just trying to end the month strong. So let me know, what is one thing you plan to do this week to move things forward in your business? So we did the LinkedIn Live Monetization Masterclass on Friday night. And when I tell you, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to play favorites. This was the best masterclass, the best workshop I have ever hosted. And I think the main reason why was because I felt like I could completely throw out what everybody else was doing and craft an environment that I wanted to thrive in. And I really think it benefited everyone. Now, I have been playing around with asking polls on the live streams. And so here is the poll of the week for those of you who are currently watching live, and I'll remind you about this later. But I want to know, this is especially for those of you who were not able to attend the masterclass live. I've been thinking about it, and in my opinion, this content is still just as valuable when you watch the replay. I would say about maybe half of the people who signed up were not able to actually watch it in real time Friday night, and so they are watching the replay. And so I'm beginning to think that because I have a wait list already for this class, do you think I should go ahead and make the replay available and provide all the same materials that everybody got when they signed up for the class? Or should I only present this class live? I've seen people in both camps. Some people never let people see the replay unless they're there that night. Other people make it an evergreen product and sell it later. So let me know in the comments if you would be willing to pay for a replay to a masterclass. If that is just as valuable to you, then just drop replay in the comments. But if you're someone who's like, nope, it's only valuable if I'm there to watch it in real time, just say live. So either drop replay in the comments or drop live. These polls not only boost engagement on the live streams, but they really do help me make decisions in my business. And so this is a thing that I'm pondering right now is, are people interested in receiving this information if I'm not physically there to give it to them? I know that courses are structured this way, but I want to make sure that I get a pulse on what you guys are interested in. So if you could let me know that, that would be amazing. Just a quick reminder, friends, our group coaching call is this Wednesday, and our brand partner of the month is Relay. So Relay is the company that I utilize to manage my business checking accounts. And so they're going to be popping in and sharing more about how to use the product to apply the profit first method to how you manage your money. So I'm really excited to share them with you. So I hope members, you are able to attend this live, but as always, the replay will be added to the app. Now, this is what we're going to be talking about today. And I also want to be completely honest with you all. So every year for the past maybe 3 or 4 years, my husband does not take a lot of pictures. And he has, I shouldn't say allowed, but a little present that he gives me every year is we go with my friend Amanda and we take photos for our anniversary. So this is actually a picture from last year, from our 11th anniversary photo shoot. Now, this place is an actual place in the mountains where we live. It's off of the Blue Ridge Parkway where we go a lot. I wanted to use it as the thumbnail for this particular live stream. However, the photo that Amanda took was a vertical image. So everything you see on the left and right hand side of this image was actually created using the Magic Expand tool within Canva. And so I just find it to be super helpful to create horizontal images if you have a vertical image you want to use. And I did a video about it. I will link it in the description when this is over, but this is a great application of this tool. I'm not a huge AI fan for a ton of things in business, but in this particular circumstance, it was super helpful. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that is something that I did behind the scenes to make this image work. And the new photo is on Instagram and LinkedIn if you guys want to engage with it. But yesterday was our 12th anniversary, and we're going to be heading to DC, and I will not be live streaming next Monday because it is Labor Day. So we're going to have a lot of fun celebrating this weekend. But yeah, just wanted to give you that little inside scoop on how I used Canva to make that thumbnail. So if you are watching live, feel free to engage in the comments. I can pop your comments up on screen, but I'm going to go ahead and hop into this information because I think it's going to be a really helpful perspective for you to have going into the end of the month. So first and foremost, I want you all to know that not every business needs to be marketing with a personal brand. Now, I think before I really drop my honest opinion about this, I think it's important to specify what a personal brand actually is. So a personal brand is essentially when someone is using their either legal name or some type of persona to market their brand. And so buying from that brand is just like buying from that person. So say, for instance, LaShondaBrown.com. If LaShonda Brown was the name of my brand, then that would be a personal brand. And so I think that there's this perception online that in order for you to thrive, you have to use a personal brand to do it, because that's what a lot of people are doing. There are big names doing this. Amy Porterfield's one, Shilling Johnson is one, Jenna Kutcher's one. I mean, you go down the list. There are a lot of people who are building brands using their name as the business name. Not every business needs to do that. And I think we need to take a moment and take a step back and say, okay, well, before social media in particular, people weren't really doing that. They weren't using their personhood as a way to build their business. When I think about my mechanic, Dan Lasley used his last name to name his business Lasley's Auto Bodies, but it's not Dan Lasley. And I'm expecting Dan Lasley to fix my car. I go to Lasley's Auto Body. It's very clear Dan owns this business, but I don't expect Dan to be doing all the work. And it doesn't bother me if I never see Dan in the office when I go to get an oil change or get new tires, because that's not the expectation. There are so many businesses that are thriving and that are successful that do not use a personal brand. And so one of the things that I'm seeing over and over and over again is that a lot of online entrepreneurs are putting pressure on themselves to show up and, take all these pictures and shoot all this content and do all these things because they think if I don't keep showing my face, I can't have a successful business because that's what everyone's doing right now. And that's what everyone expects out of me. And that's just not the case. It's not the case that people have this expectation that you must show your face in order for them to part ways with their money. What people are looking for is solutions to their problem. So you do not have to revolve your brand or your business around you as a person. Okay. So I want to get that out of the way at the beginning. Now, the second thing is boundaries are really hard to enforce with a personal brand. And I see this more often with influencers on Instagram and YouTube. When you build a personal brand to sell people, people develop what's called a parasocial relationship with you, where because you vlog your life, because you show your house, because you bring people along for important memories or important moments in your life, people genuinely feel like they're your friend. And so if they find you or see you in person, they have an expectation of you, not as just a content creator, but as a friend. I even think with people like Taylor Swift's a good example, where people have a close, genuine, in their mind, relationship to her. They care about who she's dating. They care about what she's wearing and what she's eating and what she's interested in. And I just feel like because personal brands are so personal, boundaries are hard. It's not impossible, but boundaries are harder to enforce because you're building a brand with the expectation that I'm going to let you in. So say, for instance, when an influencer is pregnant, people assume, well, you're going to show us the baby. You're going to maybe even take us into the hospital with you, that you may, be creating content pretty soon after that child is born. And so you see with celebrities like Halle Bailey, where it's like, she didn't even tell people she was pregnant until after her son was born. And so people just lost their mind. They're like, how could you not share this with us? And it was because she had built this personal brand and she had brought people along the ride in such a deeply personal way that when this thing happened, they expected to have access to it. And she wanted to keep that to herself. And so I think it's important to be clear about the fact that when you do build a personal brand, you're going to have to work even harder to keep things personal. The third thing I want to talk about is the fact that there's something called key man risk involved with personal brands. And I think this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs don't think about when they're building online because they're not thinking about, oh, one day I may want to sell my business. One day I may want to pass this off to somebody else. But when you revolve a business around a particular person, whether it's the CEO, the founder, what have you, if you ever want to replace the person who's in charge or to sell the business, there is a giant risk involved if that person is no longer associated with the content or the business. And so when you revolve everything around you, if you ever want to sell it, the value of what you're selling is going to completely go down if you're not going to stay involved. And so what you'll find sometimes is people will sell their business, but then be an employee of the people who bought the business, and it gets a little hazy. And so if you are building something with the expectation of selling it, you may want to keep that in mind, that it may be better to go by a business name so that later on down the line, you're in a position where it's easier for you to sell what you've built to somebody else. So whether you're creating educational content or you're building a community or building a list, I think of brands like Morning Brew, right? I don't actually know who writes Morning Brew, who's involved with that, but that's something that could easily sell because it's not revolving around a singular person, or at least not that I'm aware. And so I think sometimes we don't give ourselves credit that what we are building could be valuable to somebody else down the line. And if that is something that you are interested in at all, you have to take into consideration that revolving everything around you may not be a good long-term solution. Number 4 is it's really hard to delegate when you're running a personal brand. And the reason why is, again, it goes back to that whole auto body circumstance where if Dan Lasley cannot fix my car because I'm not going into it with the expectation that at Lasley's Auto Body, the only mechanic is Dan, I'm good. But if it was Dan Lasley and I walked in wanting to talk to Dan, wanting Dan to work on my car, only trusting Dan with that responsibility, and he wasn't there, that would actually do more harm than good for his business. And so what I'm trying to explain to you is when you have a personal brand, it is really hard for someone else to send emails on your behalf, to do things on your behalf, because people have an expectation that I'm giving money to you, not to a team member. Some people will say like, oh, it's team such and such, team Celine Johnson or team Amy Porterfield. And that's cool and all, but they had to get to that place over time to really wean people off the fact that they are not the only person doing everything. And so I find it very interesting when I think I'm engaging with, a personal brand where they are the solopreneur and they're always the one answering emails, responding to comments, things like that. And then I meet that person in real life and I reference an email I sent them or a comment I made on social media and they have no idea what I'm talking about because they actually weren't the person behind the scenes. It impacts my view of them. It's like, oh man, if I had known they had a team, then maybe I wouldn't have shared that, or maybe I wouldn't have had that expectation of them, but they never communicated it. And so it's really hard when you are running a personal brand for other people to do things for you. And so I would say, even if you are running a personal brand, talk about your team, right? In my case, like I drop Angela's name and I say, oh, well, Angela's going to do this, or Josh is going to do this, or Zia's going to do this. It's super important that you communicate to people that you are not the only person behind the scenes, so that when they get an email or a communication from someone that's not you, it doesn't put a bad taste in their mouth because you already set that expectation. You're also able to delegate because, again, people don't expect you to be doing everything. And so even if you're running a personal brand, talk about your VA, talk about your part-time folks, set that expectation that although you see me face to face on social media, on YouTube, what have you, I have people behind the scenes helping to make this thing work. The last thing I want to say, and I am going to hop into the comments to see what you guys think about this. So as you start to ponder, go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. But I think communicating your value is easier when you lead with your business name first. And this particular thing I could do like a whole live stream about, but we talked about this in the LinkedIn Live Monetization Masterclass, where we talked about the fact that when I am going after sponsorships, the fact that I can communicate to folks that I have a team, that when you purchase a sponsorship with Bootstrap Biz Advice, you are getting more than just me. You're getting access to a team of 6 people that are dedicated to helping your brand be presented in a professional manner online. And so I have found that when I start talking about the fact that, nope, I can't take that offer because I have a team. Nope, I can't do that payment schedule because I have team members I have to pay. Nope, I can't do that turnaround time because my team is at capacity. It helps me to communicate my value. And I have found that I have closed more sponsorships and I've been able to charge more simply by communicating that I am running a business and not just a personal brand. So from a financial standpoint, it is so much easier to communicate that you are a real business that have real concerns, real needs, real payroll responsibilities when you are marketing a business name, that's separate from you, than just saying, oh, it's LaShondaBrown.com. You're working with LaShonda Brown. I'm LaShonda Brown, da 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 da. That is partially why it is so important for me to not only have LaShondaBrown.com, but to have BootstrapBizAdvice.com. Bootstrap Biz Advice is an LLC now. It is a separate entity. I am an employee of Bootstrap Biz Advice, and it is a legitimate business. And so as you start to separate yourself from your brand, whether it's a legal thing or it's just in the way that you communicate your value, you will find that it's a whole lot easier to grow when you express to people that what you're doing is a pretty big deal. It requires a lot of moving parts, a lot of hands to make it happen. And so I think a common thread that I see in so many online entrepreneurs, whether they are on YouTube, marketing on LinkedIn, on Instagram, is they downplay their value by not expressing the fact that what it takes to run their business involves many hands. Even if someone is not a W2 employee, they are still necessary to get things done. And so I really want you to get better at communicating your value, whether you are trying to pitch a sponsorship or pitch a new client, that you understand that you are so much more than just your name, okay? That you are a real brand and a real business. And I think it's easier when you lead with a business name versus just your personal brand. I still have Instagram that is in my name. I still have LinkedIn that is in my name. Technically, I still have a Facebook, but I went in and I actually changed that Facebook page to Bootstrap Biz Advice and not just LaShonda Brown. And so I have just found that as things continue to evolve, we did the same thing with our first company, Life Focus Pictures. We could have named it Josh and LaShonda Videos, but we did not. We were like, no, we need to name it something that is separate from us. We need to take ourselves seriously. We need other people taking us seriously. And so we need to establish a business name that is totally separate from our personal identities. And so in my husband's case, it's allowed him to basically not be on social media. It took me years to get him to start a LinkedIn page, and he never uses it. And so he's able to still be in business and to still thrive and still have clients because it doesn't revolve around him constantly creating content. And so I think as we start to try to wean ourselves off of this need to keep producing and posting all the time, leading with a business name and doing more traditional business strategies to grow your business may save you a lot of headache in the long run. So this was just a quick conversation that I wanted to have about personal branding, because I just see so many people saying, like, basically, you just need to get over it. You just need to get comfortable being on front of the camera. You need to get comfortable, sharing your life. Your whole life is content. When you are out with your family, that's content. When you are relaxing, that's content. When you're at church, that's content. And at the end of the day, I think the biggest benefit to not leading with a personal brand is the fact that it allows you to have healthy boundaries between being online and being offline. And in this season of life, that is super important to me. So I'm able to delegate to my team because we're running an actual business that doesn't revolve around me. Yes, I'm the face, but I'm not the only person. I didn't set all this stuff up. I don't edit my videos. I don't blog my content. And so because I'm able to delegate to my team, I'm actually able to have a bigger impact in the long run. So my friends, I hope this conversation got your brain going. I've got some friends here live that I'm going to check in with in the comments. Remember, the poll I had for you was specifically about replays versus live classes. The monetization masterclass was on Friday night. It was amazing, but I already have a wait list full of people wanting this information. So if you still see the value in having access to the replay and all the materials, drop replay in the comments. But if you are only interested in classes that you can attend live, can you drop live in the comments? I really need to get a pulse on what my audience thinks about this, because I've seen people in two different camps. So let me know in the comments how you feel about that. Drop replay if you're cool with having access to the resources and paying for the replay. Drop live if you are just like, if I can't be in the room live, I'll just wait till the next time you do it. Okay, awesome. So let me see what y'all have to say in the comments. Trisha said, this is literally my thought process for my brand. Yes. And here's the thing. I think you can leverage your personal brand to get things started, but it's important that you continue to express the business name that isn't associated with you. So say for instance, I am the founder and tech educator at Bootstrap Biz Advice. And I am trying to get in the habit of sharing my business name when I share things online. So if I'm posting to Instagram, I'm trying to drop that Bootstrap logo in there. When I am talking about my brand on LinkedIn, I created a business LinkedIn page for Bootstrap Biz Advice just so I could tag the business name. So I'm really trying to express the fact that I'm not just a YouTuber. I'm not just an influencer. I'm running a company and I'm leveraging my personal brand to help get the name out there. So there is a difference, and I really want to try to help you to wrap your mind around, the intricacies of all of that. Okay, Queen TV said, thank you for this. This definitely puts things in perspective for me. Awesome. I agree 100%. I'm new to this and I'm seeing so many things contrary to what you're saying. Thank you for making this video. And here's the thing, Tracy. I think the reason why so many people are saying things contrary to this is because that's what they do. Okay. But here's the thing. You have to think about life outside of the internet. There's so many things. Think about your doctor, right? It doesn't bother you that your doctor doesn't engage with you on Instagram for them to help you with your annual physical or help you with your blood work, or we don't have these expectations of other industries. I don't expect this out of a lawyer. I don't expect it out of a dentist or a doctor. Even honestly, I'm getting to the point where it's like, even if my hairstylist didn't post to Instagram, I would still go to her because I know she knows what she's doing. I don't have the expectation that you're going to take me along the ride. You're going to show me every style you do. If you're a nail tech, every set of nails you do. I just know these are the places I go to buy the things that I need, and I'm okay with that. So I think we are completely aware that we don't have that expectation of everyone, but I think we put that pressure on ourselves to be that because so many people do that on social media. So many people lead with that personal brand. They don't even talk about what their business name is until you get an invoice from them or you buy one of their online products and you're like, oh, I didn't know that your business name was actually, fill in the blank. So I just wanted to bring this up because I find that people put so much pressure on themselves that, oh man, I got to post every day or my business can't grow. I've got to be visible or my business can't grow. That is one of the benefits of leveraging platforms like YouTube and growing a list, is that if you never wanted to post on Instagram, if you never wanted to post on LinkedIn, you could still grow with those strategies because YouTube will help you get discovered and your list will help you to nurture those leads. So we just need to get back to the basics and to realize you don't have to do everything everyone else is doing. For some people, it's easier for them to just share their life and then add a caption that's relevant to their business. But for a lot of you, it does not come naturally to you. The things that you do are not Instagram friendly, and you would have to go to such an extent to create that content that other people aren't needing to do. If you think about, my channel, every week I sit in the same spot. This is my literal desk. All I do is I turn my lights on here, I turn my lights on behind my head, and I talk. This is the same setup that I use for Zoom calls and calls on Butter and things like that. It's the same setup. I'm not taking people all around my house, showing them my closet, showing them my shoes. Like, I just sit down at my desk and I'm either creating content on this screen or I'm having a conversation on this screen. And it's just that simple. So I want you to take the pressure off yourself to constantly be creating because, I can see my 3-month board over here. I'm looking at September, October, November, and September. When I tell you the box that my tasks are in, it's spilling out into October. There's so much to do in September. And so I have come to realize that I really don't need to market anything in September. I just need to be a good steward of what's already been entrusted to me. And so I think sometimes we get in this habit of like, oh man, I got to always be selling. I got to always be posting. And if you do that, you'll find yourself working longer hours to actually fulfill the things that you sold because you did not stop selling. And so that's the other danger of a personal brand is that you're constantly posting. And so you're constantly bringing in leads and things you have to manage instead of having a more healthy flow to your business where you can put up those boundaries and say, I work 20 hours a week, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 3, and come Friday, I turn it off. And that's okay because I have team members, because I have help. So I just want to give you guys another perspective because I feel like it's not being said, and I just want to be a part of that conversation. So I'm seeing, this is so funny. Okay. So I see replay, live, replay. Adrian said both. That's really not helpful. But here's the thing. I mean, you guys are split. So I'm kind of like, it's not super clear. That has to burn people out. If they do that too, it cannot be good for mental health. I completely agree. And if you look closely, mostly on platforms like Instagram, you will see so many people talk about going on a social media detox, going on a social media break. And it's because they feel like they can't live their life and share it at the same time. That it's just they're exhausted. And so they got to tap out. And so I think if you don't lead with that expectation, then you don't have to worry about it, And I think that's a really important thing to mention. So this is so funny. Your polls did not move the needle for me. It's right down the middle. Oh, man. So I think, this is so interesting. I really enjoy teaching live, but I know people are interested in the replays as well. It technically looks like replay might be winning because considering that Adrian said both. So if you're watching in the replay, I would love for you to vote to help get some more data on this. But yeah, that would definitely be helpful to me. It was a really, really helpful class. I'm going to be hopping into my inbox to respond to some of the requests that I got over the weekend, because I did include email support through the end of the month for my students. So if you did not, if you weren't able to join live and you did watch the replay, you can still email me and ask me questions. So I will be hopping into those after this live stream. So my friends, I'm gonna miss y'all, but at the same time, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy myself going to DC, taking a break, hanging out with my husband, doing something fun. Please have balance in your life, guys. Your business is supposed to be helping to help you to live the life that you want to live. You don't just live to work. So please, I'm not going to be here on Labor Day. Take Labor Day off, sleep in, do what you need to do. But I definitely want you to have some more balance, because I wish someone had said that over and over when I had started in business. So I'm going to be that person for you. Really last thing, I prefer live, but I can't always catch all of it or want to watch the replay because it's so good. I like the ability to interact live, more valuable. Yes. Okay. No, that's a good point. I definitely think that if you can attend live, you get a lot more out of it. However, there's still value in the replay. So I think for now, what I will probably do is, because I have so much on my plate, I will just stick with everybody who came through this time, make sure that they're taken care of this week. But maybe moving forward, I may have a replay solution in the future for those who aren't able to get in before the class sells out. Because I did sell out the class, and that was super important to me to not oversell it so I could make sure I answered everyone's questions. So that turned out well. So super excited about that. All right, my friends. Well, I'm going to go ahead and land the plane. Remember, if you are a Bootstrap creator, we have our group coaching call on Wednesday at 1 p.m. So I will see those of you there. If you want to join in, just make sure that you join by, I would say, by tomorrow, so you can get invited to the call on Wednesday. Bootstrap Creators is my membership tier where people have access to the community tab. They get group coaching calls every month. They get a workshop every month, and I help them to generate more passive income, increase traffic to their offers, and partner with brands. So if you want my ongoing help, that's the way to find me. All right, my friends. Well, I hope you have an amazing week. And as we like to say, until next time, ta-ta for now.